Hey guys, today you're going to learn some of the tactics I use to open 14 high ticket sales accounts in 1 month, all from cold calling. So a little bit about me. My name is Jacob Bushmaker. I've been working in virtual sales for nearly a decade. I made over 72,937 cold calls before I stopped counting. And as I said before, I have a personal record of 14 accounts, high ticket sales opened in 1 month, all from cold calling. In this channel, I post videos of sales tactics that have actually been field tested by a working sales professional, so you can get more sales, make more money, and earn your freedom. If that sounds interesting, please subscribe and let's get into it. All right, guys, so what particular are we going to be focused on today? We're going to particularly focus on the famous and dreaded not interested. Anyone who's been on the phone more than a few minutes knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's the most common objection you'll ever get. It's essentially what it is. It's not even an objection. You have to realize that it is a reflex. It is a habit. It is something which we have been trained to do after getting so many cold calls. People that have their numbers online publicly listed, if you have their number, what I'm trying to say is if you have their number, it's very unlikely you're the only person that has their number, right? So you gotta be cognizant of that, and you gotta realize it's just a reflex. It's nothing about you. It's nothing about your company. It is what it is. And another thing too is I don't care what anyone else says. There is absolutely no way to completely overcome this objection. You're always going to get brutal hang-ups, not interested, no matter what you do. All you can basically hope to achieve is pausing that reflection enough to get a few more words in and actually trying to get some of the value that you're trying to bring to them. I personally see if you can get a 5 to a 10% stop rate from not interested, that is a phenomenal victory, because otherwise these are people that are, they're going to hang up on you. They're not going to hear anything of what you have. They're not going to hear of any of the value you're bringing to them. So basically, if you can get 5-10%, you are absolutely crushing it. All right. So as I said before, you have to realize that this is not an objection. This is a habit. You are overcoming a reflex that people have from being bombarded all their lives with cold calling. How do you break a habit? If you've read James Clear's Atomic Habits, you'll know that you break a habit by disrupting it. You have to basically break that automaticness, that automatic action, so that you actually engage their thinking, part of the brain. How do you do this? Now, first thing, you never want to say someone's wrong directly. I think you guys know this. You're pretty smart for this. The goal is essentially what you're trying to do is you're trying to break their pattern of thinking in what's referred to as the croc brain. Essentially, that's their reaction. It's essentially, it's the brain's way to protect the cerebral cortex, the front part of your brain that uses the most energy, the most power, right? It's to try to literally not engage it by instead engaging a habit, so it doesn't even have to think. It's literally coming from a deeper, it's in the back of your brain, kind of where your head and your neck connect, right? It's literally coming from that part of the brain. So you have to realize that's what it is. Now, with that in mind, we're actually able to use that to our advantage, okay? Now, the best way to stop a habit, any habit at all, is you need to disrupt the habit. You need to stop it from happening, so they actually have to think about what they're doing before they proceed. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's go over how you might do this for two of the most common reflex objections you'll ever hear on the phone: the non-interested and the now's a bad time. So let's go over the first one. Ring, 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 ring. Hey, Jacob Bushmaker here. I have more access. This is a bad time, man. Yeah, I figured that. So I just want to see when might be a better time. I'm free tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does that work? So. Pretty clear there. We have the objection. This is a bad time, right? That is, they pay. Just remember, if they are picking up the phone, okay, it can't be that bad of a time. They chose to pick up the phone and be disrupted. So that's basically always a smoke screen. So you got them on the phone. So assume they got at least 30 seconds or so to set up a better time to speak. And if they're saying no, it's probably just a smoke screen. Let's just break down how we might go over that objection a little bit more. So, all right, so this is a bad time. Yeah, I figured that. So you typically want to have a small pause there. You don't want to pause too much so that they get a response, but then you don't want to sound like you're bulldozing them, right? Which is the worst when you get a cold call from a sales guy. It's just, hey, how's it going? Like, you don't want that vibe at all, right? You want to be steady, slow. Typically for me, you want to kind of drop your voice, just be like sort of steady, right? And consistent, and confident sounding. Okay, it's a bad time. Yeah, I figured that. So I wanted to see when might be a better time. I'm free tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does that work? So if you've heard in my videos on tonality, you'll see that I did a downtone. So I wanted to see when would be a better time. That's a downtone. Okay, you want to sound secure. I'm not arguing. You know, it's a fact, right? I was calling to actually set up another time for us to speak, and then obviously at the end, I'm free tomorrow at 10 a.m. Does that work? We do need a response, of course, from them, so we do want to hit them with an uptone then and get the response. All right. So how about let's talk about the big one? Not interested. Hey, it's Jacob Bushmaker at More Access. Not interested. That's exactly what I'm calling. You gotta be fast with that one. Okay, fast. That's exactly what I'm calling. What? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm calling. Of the over 3,000 clients that we've worked with over the years, not a single one was interested until they heard what we do. I can give you a brief overview of what we do right now. It'd take about 30 seconds. You got that? Now, whatever the objection is, especially now, I'm talking particularly these reflex objections. You know what I'm talking about, right? The ones that you hear day in, day out that have they haven't heard anything about what you do. They're not saying they're not interested because they're disqualified. They're just saying they're not interested to hang up, right? These are the objections I'm talking about. Make sure to have some type of disruptor statement. Be sure to have them prepared. Be quick with the delivery. Practice these. If you're able to get any turnarounds, personally, I think that's a success. But a 5 to 10% turnaround rate would be phenomenal. Keep in mind that anyone that you're able to turn around and actually able to save, so to speak, these are people that would have hung up with you anyways. You're taking the exact same amount of time, dialing the same amount of energy, basically. So it is worth your while to have these things honed in, at least for the very, very common ones like these two. All right. And as always, just with anything that's cold calling, if they're rude, threatening, tell you to fuck off or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Don't engage, right? Of course, just hang up and move on. Okay. I hope you guys found this valuable. And if you liked it, please post a comment, give me a like, what have you. Be sure to follow me if you haven't already. And I will see you guys later.